Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and we got some more big news today. So the Washington football team has requested to interview Jojo Wooden and Nick Polk for their GM jobs. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on those requests, and I'll give you guys a breakdown of who these guys are. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so before we get into both of these candidates, let's look over the GM candidates that the Washington football team has requested to interview. So they actually have interviewed Ryan Cowden, who is the Titans vice president of player personnel. They have requested interviews for these three people: Martin Mayhew, who is the 49ers vice president of player personnel and was a former Lions general manager; Jojo Wooden, who is the Chargers director of player personnel; and Nick Polk, the Falcons director of football operations. So those are the guys that they're planning to, or that they have sent a request in to interview, and they have interviewed Ryan Cowden. So we'll see if any other guys that they interview could be coming in the next couple of days, and they'll probably hire a GM in a week or two, because if you look at, the teams that have been in the GM search process, they've already been hiring. A lot of guys came in today. So look for the next, couple of weeks, maybe even next week, for it to be official who we do end up hiring. So I'll read it right here by Ian Rapport, another respected name to interview for the Washington football team GM job. They are expected to interview Chargers director of player personnel Jojo Wooden. Source said he heads up pro and college scouting in Los Angeles, and they've had some pretty good drafts lately. They got a good young team in LA, and then the Washington football team also has requested permission to interview director of football operations Nick Polk for their open GM job. Polk is a respected member of the front office, and he spent nearly 2 decades in Atlanta. So now for a quick overview of these two people. What are their backgrounds? Would they be a good candidate or not? So first, Jojo Wooden. I actually like him. I looked at his, overview. He has a good background. So he joined the Chargers in 2013 and oversees the team's pro and college scouting departments. So he's been there for a while. Before LA, he spent 16 seasons with the New York Jets from 1997 to 2012. But remember, they weren't as bad as they were now. They actually made the AFC Championship a couple of times, including the last 6 as their assistant director in player personnel. He joined the Jets in 1997 and served as a pro personnel assistant, pro scout, and senior scout, and assistant director of pro scouting. So he's a scout guy. He's not like Nick Polk, who's more of a cap guy. He's similar to Kyle Smith in a sense. So it is interesting that they don't want to look, to at least give Kyle Smith a GM interview, but I guess they want to go in a different direction. I guess, Jojo Wooden has a lot more experience. I mean, he's been doing this since 1997. He's a former college football player, and his brother is in the NFL and is a scout for the Saints. So he has a good background, very, very good scout and director of player personnel for the Los Angeles Chargers, and he did work for the Jets for a while. If you look at the Chargers draft in the last few years, they've actually had some really good players. I mean, this year their draft was insane. Justin Herbert, who is probably the best quarterback in this draft. You could argue him and Joe Burrow, but after the injury, it's definitely been Justin Herbert, and he looks like a star. I mean, 31 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. They also got a really good linebacker in the first round in Kenneth Murray. They got a solid running back in the 4th round and a couple other solid players, and they've also had some other, and KJ Hill in the 7th round. They've also had some other solid drafts. I mean, Derwin James, Mike Williams, they've had some Justin Jackson. They've had some solid drafts. Desmond King in the 5th round, Isaac Rochelle. So they've had some solid drafts, and I would not mind going after him We'll see. I don't know. Here's the thing I forgot to say. This guy has no connection with Ron Rivera. Him and Nick Polk, I do believe they don't have any connections with Ron Rivera. So that's why I'm thinking it's a little bit less likely that we do go after him. Maybe they share the same agent, because I'm pretty sure Ron Rivera shares the same agent as Martin Mayhew, who we are interviewing as well. So we'll see about that, but no connection. So that could mean that we don't hire him, but maybe Ron Rivera will surprise us and hire someone that he doesn't really have a connection with. So now on to Nick Polk, who is more, like I said, of a cap guy, more of a management guy. So he enters his 11th season as a director of football operations in 2018. He spent 5 seasons as the club's director of football administration and enters his 16th overall with the team. He works closely with general manager Thomas So, yeah, it's mostly contract stuff, negotiations, salary cap management. So, that's what he does. He's been working there for a very, very long time. Doesn't have much scouting, background. But here's the thing. If you're a Kyle Smith fan, and most of us are, if you hire someone like Nick Polk, it's probably better than hiring a scout guy, because if you hire someone like Nick Polk, who's a director of football operations, he's going to be more of a manager. He's going to oversee a lot of the things, but he's not going to really scout. That's still going to be up to Kyle Smith, who's vice president of player personnel, and, even up to Ron Rivera. So he's going to take input from those guys. And instead, if you go after someone like Jojo Wooden or Ryan Cowden, those guys are going to, obviously still get input from the scouts, but they're going to want their guys and the guys that they like. So that might be a reason why you want to get someone that is not a, vice president of player personnel. That's just a thought right there. Who knows what happened? Rivera decides to do. Still might request a couple more guys. Keep your eye out on, Marty Herney, who I do not want. Maybe Rick Smith, and then Joe Schoen or something like that. He's from the Buffalo Bills, and he is my favorite general manager candidate that is realistic, because obviously it doesn't look right now at the moment that we are going to hire Kyle Smith or even give him an interview, which is a little bit disappointing because, he's been with the organization for 10 plus years, and, he's a vice president of player personnel, and Ron Rivera's interviewing Ryan Cowden, who's the vice president of player personnel, Martin Mayhew, Jojo Wooden. And Jojo Wooden, he doesn't have any ties with him. So we'll see though. I will be streaming tomorrow with a guest, not sure yet who, but there will be someone on. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that at around like 6:30. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little bit of a late video, but this news came out later today. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.